sports, an activity that's been with us for ages. Some people love to participate in sports, some others would rather pass, others desperately need it. But today, we're not talking about just any sport, we're talking about tennis! Now, how many of you are good at tennis? Neither am I, but we can read a webtoon about people who are! Now this webtoon was one I just stumbled upon when searching for video ideas, and all I know of it are the words from this here Reddit post begging you not to read it. Meaning, this is a perfect webtoon to make a video on. Now the synopsis of the webtoon seems simple enough, but let's see if the trailer can give us anything else to work with. Alright, that's enough of that. Well, it seems like the only way to truly know what this webtoon is all about is by reading it, so let me stop wasting time and get right into this. We start the story off with an explanation of the goals and dreams of every tennis player, and how no matter what, because of their physical superiority, men were always better. But it all changed one day when a rising prodigy from Japan faced off against the #1 men's tennis player. And even though they were evenly matched for a bit, the Japanese lady won, proving that women can not only be equals, but also beat the men in tennis. And not only that, but they got extra freaky after the match. And I'm pretty sure the interaction went a little like, "You love tennis? I love tennis. You wanna get freaky? I love getting freaky." However, even though she had those amazing genes, she didn't inherit the tennis talent. Regardless, she will still prove that hard work can beat talent and work her way up to being the absolute best! She gets off-screened. Dog, the disrespect is crazy! She has the biggest shoes to fill in the tennis world, and she has no talent, so she works hard to make up for it. And the very first panel we see of her grown up is on her knees after being decimated by this random guy. I like to imagine they didn't even play. She just got on the court and his tennis conqueror's hockey was so strong that she folded without the game even starting. She asks him how he got so good, and he invites her to train with him, to which she doesn't want to be alone with a boy. However, he reassures her he just wants to train with her, nothing more. What a nice guy. I just know that he loves to respect women and their boundaries. We're then given a flashback to when our main character, Anya, was a child. She expresses to her mother that she wants to become a pro tennis player just like her, but her mother doesn't like the idea. And so, she devises a little plan to figure out why her mom doesn't want her to play tennis, with her finding an excuse to go see her dad and get some answers. She asks her uncle, who's accompanying her, about why her mom would prefer if she stayed away from tennis. He tells her that her father confessed a secret to her on a bridge famous for confessions that'll lead to happy families, and after that, she changed. Don't tell me, I already know. He told her that he's a gamer. And not just any gamer, but a gotcha gamer! Ma'am, I am surprised you held back so much. Were it me in your position, that bridge would have a whole nother reputation. We then see what the father is up to with his star pupil that I forgot to mention. Whoa, hey, what in the Chris Tyson is going on here? Dude, you're 34, he's 9. All you gotta do is teach him tennis, not teach him how to get freaky. The dad says how his wife has been dismissive of him ever since he revealed his secret to her, and knowing what we know now, good. But then his student pesters him on enough to get the secret out of him, to which he says that apparently he let her win the tennis match on purpose. She may be sad after hearing this, but I'm not. Yet again, men have proven to be superior. Yeah! The groomer and the groom start talking about how his wife played in— Stop him from saying that! An adult in the room is supposed to lay down the law, not be the reason why the law needs to be there! Thankfully, his daughter throws the garbage on his head and calls him out. but for all the wrong reasons. Who cares about throwing a game when he's throwing his reputation here? She then challenges the boy, Axel, to a 1v1 before they go pro, and the loser has to obey one order from the winner. Her order for him is that he'll have to quit tennis forever, which is honestly quite baffling. This could be his dream as much as it is yours. It's not his fault that your dad told him he's pretty mature for his age. Well, since he's the victim here, I know his order will be something fairly innocent. What am I reading? Like, actually, what am I reading? This is supposed to be about tennis, ain't it? So does that mean all tennis players are this sick in the head? Is this normal in tennis? It clearly has to be, because the best player in the world heard this being said to his 8-year-old daughter. And you want to know what he did? Nothing! He goes crawling back to his wife, who forgives him because his daughter begged her to forgive her dad. Didn't she berate her father earlier? Why is she... Well, then again, having a father is better than not... Wait, can he really be called a father figure? I'm not forgetting what you did! Eventually, they get back together and all is right in the world. And this is only episode 2. We see a conversation between the dad and I'm assuming his father-in-law, and does this conversation imply what I think it implies? How many things do we have to add to this list of crimes, man? And if, which I'm hoping it's not, if what I'm assuming is true, does that mean the two love interests are siblings? We cut to Anya trying to get her racket from her younger sister, and through many trials and tribulations and bribery, she's able to get it back. And then she just bullies her 7-year-old sister? Dude, you're more than twice her age. Isn't there better things to do than be ops with a kid? Well, then again, kids that young can range from being the definition of the word innocent, or they are vile creatures that were only brought into this world to cause as much pain and destruction as possible. Her mom asks her why she seems so irritated, and she explains that she's on her time of the month, but despite that, she'll go anyway. Gosh, what do I say here? Anya wonders how Axel is doing, thinking he's still a pervert, which let's just hope he isn't. Nathan goes up to Axel, ready to oversee the 1v1 between Axel and his daughter, and so he likely hasn't changed much. And also, this explains a lot considering she was so scared of all of this stuff in the first chapter. And her dad was probably there, since he's supposed to be watching the match, but instead of comforting his daughter, his flesh and blood, he probably just stands there like he's waiting to be called up at the DMV! You know, I want to know this guy's response to if someone asks him, what if it was your daughter? Oh, my kidding. There would be no response to speak up! We get a bit of flashback of the dad and father-in-law trying to get Axel a sponsor. Moving on. Axel and the dad are talking about the deal he made with Anya years ago, with the dad saying he says the same thing to every girl, which is odd on so many levels. Odd on you, considering you're supposed to be a mentor and you're not teaching him better, but considering what we've seen so far, not much of a surprise. And then there's you, bro. Every girl? Dude, for all you know, one of those girls actually liked you, but saying that ruined any chances with her and any female with even a slight connection to her. Anya gets a call from an unknown number, wondering if it's her father, to which her mother says it might be a fan of hers, since she's a model? Ain't she 16? Can they even be models at that age? Well, I guess I'll just look it up. Alright, how do I actually look this up without, you know, can a minor be, no! What's the minimum age for, no! Alright, the only way I can search this up without looking like a freak is if I got witnesses to back me up. Guys, You're seeing this is quite literally just so I can get my facts straight. I'm not a monster! Alright, let's do this. Oh, it's true. I guess it's true. Wait, even if it is true, why make that specifically be the occupation of your 16-year-old main protagonist? So in the end, I still have the moral high ground! Anya teases her mom about always thinking about her father, and her mom responds by spraying liquid in her face. The little sister, Quinn, asks her father who Axel is, to which he replies that he's playing against her sister. And then he asks her to look at him and judge his character from a glance, and he asks it so cryptically, like he's freaking Jigsaw. Anyway, she thinks he's a good person, but as they lock eyes, she can tell he's a pervert. Wait, hold on. She can tell he's a pervert from the look he gives her? Oh my gosh, the next panel is not helping! Anya is running around and totally not overreacting to baby formula being thrown in her face, and then she... Oh no! I really can't tell what's worse, the fact that she's unknowingly doing this to a sick-in-the-head freak, or she thought she was doing it to her dad! We have a little flashback to the two as kids exchanging names and reaffirming that they will beat each other, and Axel won't forget his promise. Oh boy, I just know that they will only be friendly rivals, and Axel will grow up more mature, regretting what he said. Get away from him! Axel is trying to rizz up Anya, but instead is getting himself a registration order. Oh, never mind. I guess Anya wants it. She really wants it. It's insane. Since he naturally looks like this, she wants it. But if he was looking like this guy instead, she would probably be less forgiving. Eventually, his harassment of the female gender leads to Anya fainting, and when she comes to, Axel is laughing at her, having gotten a picture of her in the kiss pose. And for some reason, Quinn is the only one in this entire webtoon who's had a real reaction, one to scrap with Axel. And of course, Mr. Enabler is just standing there, letting this happen to his daughter! This isn't a video you're reacting to on YouTube, man. You're right there! You can do something! Oh no, just let your daughter do everything, I guess. Whatever, at least this P-diddler of a tennis player gets what he deserves. Don't you freaking smile. Don't tell me you enjoyed that. Well, if he's a masochist, which, let's be honest, isn't a stretch of the imagination, that means physical harm is pointless. Meaning all we got to use is psychological torture. Actually, this might just work better. I don't think he'll be the same after what I put him through. We get even more flashback of a plot point I have still yet to be invested in. Nathan is apparently putting his companies and whatnot on the line, all because he has faith Axel will win a tennis event. Man, I know it must have been a hard choice between who should be his successor. His daughter, own flesh and blood, who's passionate about tennis and wants to be the very best, or future tennis PR nightmare. Jeez. With a choice this difficult, I think the only way we can reach a conclusion is by phoning a friend. Anya's family are talking about her, saying she's a capable young lady, but unfortunately, the one thing she's not capable with is handling boys, and we see it in full display here. She threatens Axel, telling him to back off unless he wants more than a slap, but she doesn't follow through with what she just said. And again, Quinn is the only real one in there, trying to get the cardboard cutout that she has for a father to do something! But thankfully, an adult has entered the room as Ayane, Anya's mom, smacks Nathan and proceeds to restore order in the room as she gives Axel a heat vision stare. Ayane, I'll be honest, I was initially thinking you too were an enabler as you married him. However, you have finally stopped all the treachery, and for that, I acknowledge you. Ayane is demanding Axel for his phone, finally laying down the law. Anya is initially happy with all of this, until Ayane uses common sense telling her this game and any association with Axel is over. Now I can understand why Anya is angry, since half her life she's been waiting to play this game, and finally the day has come, only for her mother to cancel it all. That being said, look at what this guy has said and done to you! Your mom's trying to protect you from the prime example of a red flag over here, and you're adamant that this game has to happen! Why are you saying this to the one person that is actually caring about you right now? Oh yeah, and your little sister. She respects you and wants you to respect yourself, but instead of listening to reason, you will go to the ends of the earth if it means you can play this game against este hijo de... The dad tries to get involved, but since his wife is clearly the one with the balls in the relationship, she lets him know who's in charge here. She asks Axel one more time to hand her the phone, and Axel, powerless against anyone who confronts him, concedes. She then asks him why she shouldn't break his phone, and his 200 IQ response will shock you. He says, because it's my phone, not yours. My gosh. I crush his skull. We get some flashback of the diddler duo right before they commit their heinous acts, and they're talking about Anya and her skill. Nathan believes that one day Anya will surpass Axel, and hey, it only took until episode 8, but he finally is doing something remotely positive for his daughter. Oh, but he's still okay with her being referred to as a... He asks Axel if he could do him a favor and do a doubles game with Anya, with Axel saying Nathan's done so much for him, so of course he'll do it. It's true. Nathan has done quite a lot for Axel, training him, mentoring him, bailing him. After realizing he's helping his future rival, he reluctantly agrees to it, also wanting her to go to Tokyo with him. He also thinks that she's pretty hot-headed, so he decides to test her, with Nathan allowing it. You know, if we saw this first, we might think they're not so bad, so long as we forget this panel. But see, this justification for their actions doesn't really work, considering what they did has the same energy as this.
Hey, you think that big guy has anger issues?
You might be onto something here. I'll test him and see if he does have issues.
Oh my gosh, what have you done? He was only testing you to see if you have anger issues. Someone as out of control as you should be in a psych ward.
We eventually come back into the present, where Ayane does indeed give Axel his phone back, but not without taking his memory card, and then she tells him to leave. Anya is crying at the idea that she can't be a victim, but her cries are heard as peak toxic waste of a male love interest comes to save the day! He asks her if she'll sneak off with him against her mother's wishes to play some tennis, saying it'll help her become much better at tennis. And despite every single thing in the world, minus her dad, is telling her that associating with this guy is a bad idea, she accepts. Well, you know what? What do I know? I'm not you. You're an independent person, and you'll make your own choices. I trust that this choice will only lead to good things in the future. Anya refuses to play doubles with Axel due to his lack of respect for the female gender. I'm sorry, my bad. It's only because of the deal they had that she refuses, not for the obvious reasons. No, how silly. Anya starts using her tablet to find a court nearby. A tennis one, by the way, not the one where Axel needs to be taken to. Axel catches eye of something on Anya's tablet, and it's... oh no, it's her modeling work. I don't know which part is worse for me, a 16-year-old doing modeling services or the fact that this guy now has access to all of this. Eventually, they do get to play their game, and Axel isn't initially trying because apparently Anya's outfit is too distracting, but Anya says this is her final form. Get this cornball off my video, man. Girl, who do you think you are? You is not Goku. Talking about some final form. Whoa. Despite all the glazing Nathan has given Axel, Anya is actually putting Axel on fraud watch as she dominates him during this game. Axel says something about, "It's time I stop warming up," but instead of one of his techniques is rendered useless as Anya instantly sends it back. I know she got completely rolled on during the first chapter, but please let that be some bad dream. I can't stand the idea of this man's ego being fueled. Oh yeah, then we got this half chapter showcasing the rules of tennis for those who don't know. Let's see, the serve. Serve will always start at the right. The player must, I just want to finish this webtoon. Anya is telling herself that she can beat Axel, that the goal is within reach. It doesn't take a genius to know what this means, and she proceeds to get rolled on as Axel is proving to be some tennis maharaja and adapts as the game continues. After an entire game of getting decimated by her opponent, Axel finally ends this torture and wins the game. Axel then proceeds to do the stand proud pose, but he quickly notices Anya isn't okay as she hurt her ankle during the game. And as he tends to her injury, this stupid MC is falling in love with him. Have you learned nothing? Wait, it's episode 10. I'm done with it. It's all over. Yeah! Wow. Where do I start? Like, actually, where is a good place to start? Alright, so let's get the elephant in the room out of the way first. Who wrote this character and thought, yeah, well written? There's him saying this as an 8-year-old. His treachery against Anya when they're older, then he claims that was a mere test. But I know I've heard that excuse before. Whatever backstory he may have, it's doubtful that it'll justify any of this. And let's not forget who his mentor is. Not only a terrible guy in the webtoon, but wow, is he horrendously written. It's not even where you can give him the "he's just doing it to make them stronger" justification. He was literally standing by letting his student harass his daughter while holding back his other daughter from helping. Wait, oh man, it might be wrong for me to make this comparison, but... And if only the main character fought back, then it might, and that might is all caps, might salvage this just a little. But no, not only does she not fight back, but it looks like she wants it. It's literally just her mother and sister fighting for her rights, but she could care less and instead resents them for sticking up for her. All this while the webtoon is supposed to be about tennis. Look, man, I don't know much about tennis, but I know if it were about a sport that I do participate in, this webtoon will be the last thing I would like to represent it. It's baffling me. Who is this made for? It can't be made for men since its representation of men is terrible writing at best and sexism at worst. And it definitely isn't made for women because of these two existing. My best theory is this may be made for two groups. Teenagers who will take in whatever slop of a story they will see and then call it peak, or the wild card second group, Andrew Tate stands. Think about it. Women think they can become better than men, then get their dreams broken, and Axel, a frickin' hero to them! Anyways, I haven't done one of these in a while, but final statement?
Hate. Let me tell you how much I've come to hate you since I began to live.
Anyways, I'm glad to say that's gonna wrap up this video. Thank you guys for watching this video in its entirety. If you guys like this video, then please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. If you guys haven't already, then consider joining the channel membership or Patreon to further support these videos. If you guys have any video suggestions or any other webtoons you'd like me to read, then please leave it in the comments section below. And with that, I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.